2 to 3 years of bad maintenance on a new home is worse than 10 to 20 years of good maintenance on an old home. What's going on, everyone? It's Andrew McManamon. I want to welcome you back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the pros and cons of purchasing a newer home versus an older home. It truly is the age-old debate, but sometimes there isn't a whole lot of context to put into the conversation to make an informed decision. It all comes down to, what does your dream home look like? Is it full of historic character sitting back on 4 gorgeous acres? Or is it a modern home full of smart technology? Let's start off by jumping into the pros of getting a newly built home. Well, for starters, the home is brand new. It's most likely better functioning unless you were unfortunate enough to get a builder who focused more on the quantity of homes built than the quality of them. The home will be up to code with the correct permits that have been pulled, because in an older home, some ambitious DIYer may have thrown a makeshift addition that isn't up to building code, which would most likely result in the need to pay fines and or tear down that addition. The biggest appeal to a new home, if the home wasn't built yet, is having the option to choose from the builder's custom packages and make the home exactly what you want. With new homes comes new modern technology, energy efficiency, and other conveniences such as built-in appliances, solar panels, dual pane windows, and nicely networked electrical systems that aren't just a spider web of wires crammed above your drop ceiling. In one of my last videos, I talked about home warranties and the importance of them. With a new build, you're able to get your hands on a builder's warranty, if it's offered, of course, and the appliances will most likely still have their manufacturer's warranty on them as well. Depending on how old the new home is, there will be a clear path of ownership. Just like a used car, you have curiosity about the previous owners and how they maintained it. A home works the exact same way, so remember that 2 to 3 years of bad maintenance on a new home is worse than 10 to 20 years of good maintenance on an old home. Lastly, when it's a hot market like it is currently, older homes are on and off the market in just a few days. New homes are usually constructed in packs, so the likeliness of a line being formed to put in an offer is not as high as a new home. Let's transition into the cons of buying a new home. A lot of newly constructed homes have a homeowners association, which consists of a monthly or annual fee to ensure upkeep of the neighborhood and shared amenities. You can love them or you can hate them. It's truly a preference. It's not necessarily a con, but more so something that isn't optional to pay for. If you haven't noticed, they aren't making land anymore, so the cost continues to increase. So builders are buying up lots in less desirable locations so they can sell the homes at an affordable price. Not only are the homes typically far from town, builders try to build as many homes as they can on the land they have, so the acreage per home isn't always ideal. Newly constructed homes are also more expensive than purchasing an old one, but again, it truly is a preference that has numerous factors at play. If we go back to the car example, a new car might not need maintenance right away, but it'll cost more up front. A used car will cost less up front, but you'll need to update some of its parts. One of the biggest arguments against not getting a new construction home is the fact that most tend to be cookie cutter or made to look all the same. And most people believe that it has lack of character, and it just has the bare minimum character. That's why you'll hear the phrase, they just don't make them like they used to. Lastly, being a newly constructed home, it hasn't settled for very long on earth. If you've viewed older homes, you'll notice some of the unsubtle or subtle slanting due to the ground shifting around. It may not be for years to come, but it's just something to note. Alright, let's tackle the pros for purchasing an older home. We'll call it pre-1990s. The first pro, as I mentioned before, is the home's character that they just don't make anymore. This old character is also set up on a large piece of land and will be closer to town if you want it to be, depending on where you are, of course. With older homes, there aren't always homeowners associations, so you can have more creativity with the exterior of your home, depending on, of course, if you did have an HOA and what the guidelines are. They may not allow you to have the cool blue door or certain trees or bushes or that white picket fence that you've always wanted to put up. So if you want to paint your house pink, there's nothing stopping you aside from maybe the glares from your neighbors. So that's a pro on not having that HOA. Since the homes are older, the neighborhoods are most likely established. Neighbors have been in the area for generations, and zoning ordinances will most likely not make any changes to an existing neighborhood. Jumping to the cons of purchasing an older home. Obviously the home is older, so you're going to have to make repairs or necessary updates. You may need to bring a few things up to code that could potentially be costly. The bones of the home might be a little questionable because you obviously don't see them every day, and most importantly, you may face hardship trying to get financing to purchase the home because of the need to pass certain inspections depending on the type of financing you get. A con that may or may not have noticed is the older homes tend to have smaller closets, storage spaces, and garages. Newer homes put emphasis on walk-in closets and an adequate amount of storage. People just have a lot more stuff, so the homes needed to adapt a little bit over time. Lastly, purchasing an older home may leave you with high energy bills if the home isn't sealed properly or made energy efficient. Whether you're considering a new or old home, there's most definitely a lot of thought that needs to decide which option is best for you and your situation. I simply just wanted to lay out all this information just to give you a little bit of reality of both. It would be in your best interest though to deeply consider these pros and cons and take a tour of a few homes in each category just to give you a real life example. I appreciate you sticking around until the end. If you found some value, please hit the subscribe button. Tap the bell to be notified every single time I come out with a new video, and please give it a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in next week's video.